What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Sport Universe prediction standings, whatever you want to call it. So today we're going to do the NL East. I have my little notepad that has the standings on it. So the first thing I'm going to do, like we did last week, just go over a little background of what the NL East is going to be facing this year. Once again, it's a 60-game season, 40 games in their division and 20 games in their counterpart division, so they'd be facing 20 games against the AL East. In total, the NL East, 40 games against the Phillies, Nationals, Braves, and Marlins, and then 20 games against the Yankees, Red Sox, Orioles, Rays, and Blue Jays. So that's, like I described last week, the NL East and the AL East are probably going to have one of the tougher schedules of any teams in baseball this season, because the NL East is loaded, the AL East is a solid division. I'm going to go over the standings first and then go into each individual team. So first, for the standings, I'm going to start from the top down. Before this starts, this is going to be a little bit biased. I am a Mets fan, and I wouldn't be a good Mets fan if I didn't just have them winning the division. I have the Mets going number 1 at 37-23, then the Braves number 2 at 36-24, then the Phillies at 32-28, then the Nationals at 30-30, and then the Marlins at 26-34. Now we're going to go into the individual analysis for each team. So I'm going to start with the Marlins, starting out with the worst in my opinion. The Marlins really have nothing going for them. They have some young players that really didn't prove themselves last year. No one that I can really highlight. They've went through a lot this past decade, but really these past 5 years, losing a bunch of key talent, one from tragedy with Jose Fernandez, and then others through bad trades for trading away Stanton, Yelich, 2 MVPs. They traded away Marcell Ozuna, JT Realmuto, and then, in my opinion, some bad marketing with changing their logo and everything. Just hasn't been the best 5 to 7 years for the Marlins recently, and it's going to continue this year. Looking at it now, I even see them being worse than 26-34. That's just me being nice. They have a hard schedule. The reason that I'm giving them 26 wins is that they usually play up to their opponents. I think that they're going to lose a large percentage of their game. I mean, more than 50%. But I do see them battling it out with other teams, even though they don't have the talent to match up with them. Now for the Nationals. The Nationals, obviously coming off the World Series win last season. They had a great season last year because they won the World Series. Leading up to the playoffs, they won the wild card. I mean, they weren't killing it. They made it to the playoffs, which is solid. That's a solid team. But they were a wild card team, and they got hot at the right time, which made them World Series winner. And I'm not going to be the person that's going to automatically put them so high up because they're the World Series winner. They lost a lot of pieces this offseason. Well, just a key piece, Anthony Rendon, their MVP last season. They lost him. They kept Strasburg. They still have a solid team. Juan Soto, Victor Robles, obviously young talent that is going to be very good for them in the future. But I'm not going to sit here and say that just because they won the World Series, I can't ignore that they lost Anthony Rendon, who was their superstar last season and brought them to the World Series and eventually won the World Series for them. The Phillies, I have them number 3 at 32-28. The Phillies have players like Bryce Harper, JT Realmuto. Signed Didi Gregorius, didn't have the best season last year, so I don't really expect a lot from him. But they also signed Zach Wheeler, who you've been watching for a while. I think he's a little overrated. Doesn't mean he's not a good pitcher. They're going to have year 2 with Bryce Harper, and I think that's going to be very good for them. I don't think they're on the Mets and Braves level. For the Braves lost a few players from this season to last season, the most important being Josh Donaldson, also Dallas Keuchel, but Josh Donaldson was a huge piece to their success last season, and they lost him because they didn't want to sign him for as much money as he wanted, which totally fair. They have a lot of talent on this team, which is why they're number 2 and arguably number 1 to a lot of people. But once again, this is a little bit biased. So the Braves, they have Ronald Acuna, Ozzie Albies, Freddie Freeman, who does have coronavirus, so we'll see how that affects the Braves this season. They signed Cole Hamels to kind of replace Dallas Keuchel. They signed the best reliever on the market in Will Smith. So really, their whole team's very good. They have good pitching, great lineup. I expect a lot from the Braves this season, and I think everyone really does. Finally, the team I've been waiting to talk about, the New York Mets. So the Mets also lost one major one, being Noah Syndergaard, who is having Tommy John surgery and is out for this season. They also lost Zach Wheeler, another huge piece to their rotation, but they signed Rick Porcello and Michael Wacha, who I think aren't that different in talent to Zach Wheeler. I don't think Zach Wheeler is some outstanding pitcher that everyone's hyping him up to be, or hyped him up to be when the Phillies signed him. I'm happy the Mets didn't waste money on him because he does have talent. He has been supposed to, for the past 3 years, to get to that next level. Hasn't. I think it was the end of 2018 had probably his best stretch. 2019 was supposed to be his coming out year and never became that. So I don't really have a lot of trust in Zach Wheeler being this great pitcher that the Phillies signed him to be, which was over $100 million for 5 years. I think it was 125 for 5 years. Kind of outrageous, in my opinion. They lost those 2 key pieces, but they signed Rick Porcello and Michael Wacha. The Mets have a lot of talent this season. Pete Alonso coming off his crazy rookie season. Jeff McNeil is possibly an MVP candidate, and I think a dark horse. They have Yoenis Cespedes coming back this season as a DH. Going to be, he's had 2 years to prepare for this moment again. He's put in the position that the Mets have always wanted him in, using the bat, which is his most important piece to the Mets. He's not going to have to play the field, and he can be a DH for them and focus on the main thing that makes him such a great player for the Mets. JD Davis, I expect a lot from this season. Michael Conforto, the same for him. They're pitching Jacob deGrom, coming off 2 straight Cy Youngs. I think Marcus Stroman is going to have a very good season this year, and I think he's going to impress a lot of people and hopefully allow the Mets to go out and sign him. And then Michael Wacha and Rick Porcello, I think they're standard 4 and 5 hole starting pitchers for the Mets, and I think their bullpen, Edwin Diaz, is going to have a bounce back season. He got in his head too much last season. He doesn't have as much pressure on him this season to play up to the trade that they made for him. Jarius Familia can be very good. He's going to be an interesting one to watch. Seth Lugo's always really good, has been for 2 straight seasons now, so it's hard to find someone who's reliable in the bullpen, but I think Seth Lugo can be that for the Mets. The Mets have a great opportunity this season. That's it. Thanks for watching.